Arif, thank you for joining the Beyond Technology podcast. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's kick it off by telling me about your business and what do you do?
Qopia Financial is in the financial services industry. We started 9 years ago. It was just two of us. We're wearing multiple hats, doing everything, me and my business partner. But we've evolved over the last 9 years. We've gone from 2 people to 22 people. We're managing close to 400 million in assets. We've carved out multiple divisions. So we have a group benefit division, we have an insurance division, we have a financial planning and retirement division. We've all done that under one roof. So we've had exponential growth over the last 9 years, and we're excited for what's to come in the future.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of the future, what do you see 10 years down the road? Where do you want to be?
Yeah, for sure. So from a Qopia Financial perspective, we'd love to be a well-recognized brand across Western Canada. So when individuals think of Qopia, we want them to think of 3 things: trust, security, and respect. Our main office is in Calgary. We do have a Medicine Hat office. We do have a Lethbridge office. We're looking to actually now build out an Edmonton office and perhaps now expand into BC. So, 10 years from now, be a well-respected brand across Western Canada. And then me personally, I'd love to, eventually shift into that full visionary leader perspective, with 100% of my time. So ensuring the direction of the business is spearheaded by that, and just making impact by being the best leader possible.
Yeah, kind of focus on the things that only you can do and bring to the team and grow, right? Yeah, cool. On the topic of technology, tell me about a time that you've recently used technology to really improve something in your company.
So I think of 2 things. The first one I think of is we never had a centralized source of truth in terms of information. And so we had information, on OneDrive, and we had PDF files somewhere else, and we had documents here, and everything was decentralized. And so over the last 12 months, we've actually built out our own Salesforce, a CRM tool, to essentially centralize all information. And so it was a lot of work. It took a lot of time. It was an investment, a big investment within our organization, but it alleviated that centralized piece. So now we have a location where data, files, documents, everything is located in one area. And that's really helped in terms of the collaboration piece within our organization. So, within Qopia Financial, we have multiple individuals that work on a specific file for a specific client, whether it's the onboarding process or just even existing clients. And so having that data all in one place has made a huge, huge difference in terms of how we operate. And actually, we've just become more efficient because of that. API access was also very, very important for us. And so with our back office, where the client's investments are actually held, they actually provided API access with Salesforce. So not only do we have client documents in one area, but we have real-time data about what's in a client's TFSA, what's in a client's RSP, what are they holding in their corporate investment account. And so efficiency is the one thing I think of that's actually made things easier for us.
So streamlining those things and bringing everything together.
Yeah, absolutely. The second thing, and another thing that I think of right away, is the challenges that we had in meetings and specifically in client meetings. And so a lot of times I would be sitting in client meetings, whether it be myself or my associate, and we'd be, ferociously writing down the points, the action items, or the main topics that, we need to address with our clients post-meeting. And so implementing an AI note taker, whether it's a Zoom meeting or Teams meeting or even in person, has made a world of a difference. And clients are with us because of the fact that they want that bionic relationship. When you're dealing with money, clients want to have a bionic relationship with their advisor. And so that's made a huge difference in terms of bringing in a note taker. So it allows me and my associate to focus on what's really important and listening to the client and hearing what the client's needs are.
Yeah, being able to ask the right questions because you're not just writing down things.
And not being busy with that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. What's the note taker of choice?
So we've toggled between a few, but we've settled over the last about 8 years and a half on Fireflies, and it would be very hard for us to switch, but who knows?
Yeah. Tell me about a time when you used technology and it didn't work. Something went wrong and just blew up.
That's a good question. I don't know if there's ever been a time where technology hasn't worked, but I think of instances where we've implemented technology and we've done it too fast. And so, even if I look back at our CRM rollout, or our note taker rollout, or even just changing our phone line. So there's transcribing now, so I don't have to move notes from one entity to another entity. It's just done automatically. The challenge that we saw when we were implementing technology was the adoption and how fast the adoption was, and we definitely made mistakes there. And so, my recommendation to any business owner is build out your technology properly, and the adoption will come. And if the adoption doesn't come overnight, that's not a bad thing. It should take some time. And so those are challenges that we saw when we started investing in top tier technology.
Got it. How did you overcome the adoption issues?
A number of ways. We just slowed down. We created workflows. We increased the engagement with our team members, so they understand the value of it, the benefit of it, the opportunity cost of doing it. And so getting them involved made the world of a difference in terms of any challenges that we had and any maybe future challenges that we may have had or we could foresee down the road, just to mitigate them.
Just involve them.
Involve them way more.
Yeah. Cool. How do you decide when to not use technology to do something in your business?
Technology is really good, but for the most part, technology can't fully replace humans. And so in our business, especially it's relationship based, it's you're dealing with money, you're dealing with people's livelihood, you're dealing with people's retirement, anything to do with emotional intelligence, empathy, creativity, humans all day long. When it comes to cognitive busy work, that's AI, that's automation. And if you can really focus on a lot of those admin pieces that don't necessarily need to be done by a human being, your business just becomes that much more efficient. And then you can fully understand where everyone's skill set is. And if you know everyone's skill set, you can essentially use it for the business to just grow long term.
Yeah, for sure. What's one thing that you do in your day-to-day working that is non-tech that you kind of refuse to let go of?
I think in terms of the communication with the team, in terms of the one-on-ones, my weekly meetings, my quarterly meetings, my annual meetings, anything to do with human-to-human interaction from my team perspective, unless technology or AI really speeds up and replaces me in terms of my value add as a leader within the organization, that I will never, I don't want to relinquish that, because I feel like that's my value add to the organizations. So in terms of how the communication, the style of communication, because how I communicate with each member is different because they're all different. And that's something that, I don't know if I'll want to relinquish, or I haven't just needed to.
Yeah.
But it could change. It could change, right?
Yeah.
So.
Never know.
Yeah, you never know.
If you could wave a magic wand and solve one process or tech thing, what would that be?
The onboarding process. So the onboarding process in not even just my business, in my organization is very, it was very paper intensive. It is changing, it's adapting, it's becoming far more electronic, but my industry is somewhat archaic, and change doesn't happen overnight. So for me, the onboarding process, needs to continue to evolve. And so if I had a magic wand, I would to improve the onboarding process. So it was just fully digital or fully electronic.
Obviously, in the world of AI and technology, there's lots of digital risk. There's, privacy concerns, and then we're trying to get our team to use AI and technology more. How do you balance all of that and still foster a culture of letting people test and experiment and also not think they're going to lose their jobs?
If I go back to the adoption piece, adoption, is going to be easier with some people and it's going to be a lot harder with other people. And so one of our senior advisors within our organization, he says this all the time. He says, everyone's responsive to change unless it's happening to you. And then you don't want to change. So, there's a lot of fear within, individuals within an organization in the sense that AI is going to take over their role. And if it doesn't take over their role, getting past that is one hurdle. But once you get past that hurdle, then the second hurdle is, okay, how do I educate myself on this? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? So I think it all comes back down to culture and creating a culture and an environment where they can feel empowered and they can feel safe that if there is a mistake that does happen, they're in a secure environment. Well, it's okay. They're not going to get fired. And so fostering that culture, I think, is so important. And as I mentioned earlier, is having your team part of the process, part of the journey. They're just going to be that much more responsive to changes. Changes with technology, changes with AI, whatever the case may be. They're going to be more excited for it and they're going to be early adopters of it.
So do you think technology is making leadership easier or harder?
Easier. Leaders can be better leaders if they have access to better information. And so, leadership is ever evolving, but imagine you had accurate, quick, real-time data on what your SLAs are, what your conversion rates are, with prospective clients, what your sales cycle looks like. All that information is so useful to a leader because then they can use that information to ensure it aligns with the company vision. And if it's not aligning with the company vision, what sort of changes do they need to make to ensure that it is doing that? And so having technology, having AI at a leader's disposal or a leader's fingertips, to me is a huge advantage. And the leaders that don't adopt and don't take advantage of that, it just becomes busy work, and there's no alignment in terms of what the business looks like long term or wants to look like long term.
Yeah.
So,
Arif, what's your favorite app these days that you tell all your friends about?
I don't know. I'm not, that techie on the personal side. On the professional side, for sure, because I understand the impact that it has to my business. But I was an early adopter of ChatGPT. I feel like that really helped me in terms of curating thoughts. I'm an individual that if I'm just sitting down and I want to write something, I'll get stuck. I'll just be sitting at a blank sheet of paper for an hour. But once I start getting pen to paper, it's a lot easier. So I was an early adopter of ChatGPT, but more recently I've kind of switched to Gemini because I feel like the deep analysis work is probably much stronger there. And I'm a visual learner, like that's how I learn. And the ability to just have text and design put together has made my ability to learn that much easier. So this might sound cliche because it's one of the more popular ones, but yeah, for me, it'd probably be Gemini. Yeah.
Thanks for joining me today. If people want to find you and learn more about yourself or Qopia, where can they reach out?
Yeah, so we're kind of all over the place right now. We're doing a lot of sponsorship, we're doing a lot of branding, but me personally, Arif, A-R-I-F at qopiafinancial.ca or www.qopiafinancial.ca.
Awesome. Thanks for coming today and joining me. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Sean.